So I'm in my office, right? My vehicle. This is a 1988 Jeep Cherokee, all right, the XJ. I'm a Jeep enthusiast. I love Jeeps, you know. I don't know what it is. It's like I like older vehicles. I've never liked the newer vehicles. Yeah, look, I bought this Jeep, right? I bought it from an old guy, one owner, because he gave me the title from the dealership in 1988, which is crazy, you know. And I mean, I had to pay $3,000 for the engine to get rebuilt. I paid almost nothing for this car. I paid like $200, but never had accidents. I mean, it's basically clean as a whistle. Very low miles. It doesn't matter how many miles it has because it has 0 miles, because I paid $3,000 to get the engine rebuilt. It's got a brand new fuel system, brand new cooling system. I just got the headers. All right, I just got the headers online. I gotta get these heat painted. That's gonna be a brand new exhaust system. I'm gonna be driving a brand new vehicle. I mean, you can see I've stripped this down to the bare bones. I'm gonna be basically restoring everything. The seats are all, you know, fully restored on this, as you can see. These are my headphones. But I feel good in a vehicle like this, right? So what do? You have a vehicle. You're taking care of this vehicle. You're doing it with a certain level of appreciation and love for the vehicle. See, I drive a vehicle that I actually want to drive. I like Jeep Cherokees. I've driven new vehicles. I've driven vehicles, a lot of different vehicles, because in my old job, I had to rent a lot of vehicles because I was basically a market manager for, you know, the Northeast, but I was doing takeovers in basically different states of the United States. So I've rented a lot of vehicles, you know, even overseas when I went to Mexico and whatnot. But the technology doesn't draw my attention. It's not something that I care for. I drove the brand new Tesla and everything. Again, it's not something that I really care for, you know. And I've driven great cars, great new vehicles, all the newest, latest technology. Don't really care for it though. I don't know, there's a certain level of appreciation for the fact that I took this vehicle and I considered it a gold mine, because the old guy didn't know what he had, but there's a lot of Jeep enthusiasts out there. And I'm a car guy, so I like the older stuff, but I like the older stuff if I'm able to restore it. This is my second Jeep, because my first Jeep was a red and black Jeep. Big tires, lifted suspension, exhaust, engine redone. Everything was redone on it. Anything you could possibly, off-road bumpers. I mean, it was Line-X. I had bed liner all over the body. Just, that was the ultimate armor, you know. But however, you know, and now I'm doing this one. This is my second Jeep, and now I have a certain level of appreciation for the fact that I'm restoring it from scratch, and I'm going to be driving a brand new vehicle. It feels great, like everything's brand new, but I'm the one that fully restored it. You know, you see, I don't do mechanics anymore. I had to get this done, so I got the engine rebuilt. I had to literally take this car in a tow truck to a machine shop. They take the engine out, rebuild it, and put it back in for me, and you know, and aligned everything for me to be able to drive it back. And now I was able to modify everything little by little as I go. I mean, I'm the one who took the seats out, you know, reconditioned them and put them back in. So the little simple stuff, but I don't have time to work in mechanics at all like that. But again, there's a certain level of appreciation for the fact that I'm able to get this car restored, and I'm the one that's doing it, you know. Look at your body, for example. You're in a vehicle. Everybody has different kinds of vehicles. I don't promote diets, you get what I'm saying? But however, the same way when I'm driving this vehicle, I feel one with this vehicle. I have a certain level of love and appreciation for this vehicle. I am not the vehicle, but I love this vehicle, so I take care of the vehicle. You get what I'm saying? And in turn, it's funny how everything that's material in your outside world literally will respond, even though it's like we would consider it an inanimate object, right? It responds in a positive way for you. When you give love and the proper care and attention, like the proper tune-ups or the proper attention to your vehicle can last. Literally, it can outlast you, you know? When you treat plants, nature, everything, technology, okay? When you treat technology a certain way, people demonize technology. Technology works for me. This phone literally does what I want it to do, but because I appreciate it and I give it plenty of love, right? So there's times that I'm realizing that I'm misusing my body. I realize I have limitless energy, infinite potential to heal. You hear what I'm saying? And regenerate. But like I've mentioned before, You could be full of life one day, and then the next day you just may not be here, you know? And forget about tragic accidents. I'm talking about just your body just decides to stop working, and you should be able to come out of your vehicle and disconnect from it without the attachments. You get what I'm saying? Because all those attachments is just basically you operating in this vehicle. This vehicle is what's connected to everything outside of you, because it's the experience you're experiencing outside is your body. So if I want to travel somewhere, I want to experience something, you use your mind, but your body is the mind. And besides, you have different organs in your body. You have different energy centers. We call them chakras. They're all brains in and of itself, you know, and each brain has a mind. That's why they think, oh, think with your heart, or go into your heart space. You know, your stomach is your first brain, if anything. I mean, look at this. It's like they tell you to eat slower so that it gives the stomach a chance for the brain to know that it's full, so that you don't overeat, right? So when you look at your body, the mind, let's say if I want to travel somewhere, I can travel in my body, you know, network, connect. All these cells have a cellular connection, you know? If I'm misusing my body, okay, and I'm constantly draining it of certain energy just to please my human animalistic natures, or you know, just misusing the energy to some extent, yeah, I'm getting it restored. However, how much this has a lot to do also with what you emanate, you know, like we start talking about the alpha, beta males and whatnot. All ideas, in my opinion, because you can go into a room and your presence can be felt. Women will start to feel you. Men will start to notice you in a room because your energy is so high. You get what I'm saying? Like you'll be impactful. You'll be felt. You'll also have energy to heal. You cannot get sick because you are properly treating your body, and this is how you become more vibrant. You don't have to do none of this shit. There's people who are MMA fighters. They train a certain way, and by the time they're in weigh-ins, they look great. They look strong too. And their mindset is very important into how they perform inside the octagon, not letting the other one infiltrate their mind. But this is why we have, but here's the thing though, the fighter doesn't go in there by himself. The fighter has a coach, a head coach, and the fighter has a team behind them. Because the thing is, before you get into a fight, you sign a contract, right? So you do something, whatever idea it may be, because these are all ideas. You're an idea. Whatever is happening out here is really not happening. They're all ideas. And this is what I want you to get to realize, is that this is why I say I don't promote diets. I am a coach, okay? And I'm in the field of iridology, almost done with level 2, and lymphatic iridology I'm already done with. I'm a hypnotist, personal trainer. I know about supplementation like the back of my hand. I mean, I'm not really into that anymore, but if you have any questions on supplementation, this is where I worked in my entire life. I worked for an actual supplement company, and I mean, I know this stuff. I've been around it the majority of my life, the bodybuilding industry, you know? And, you know, these are things that, for example, I'm a coach. So let's say because of your choices and decisions and the fucked up mentality you may have, you contracted an idea of a disease, because it's just an idea. There's no such thing as diseases. Make that clear. But you contracted an idea of a disease. The same way you sign a UFC contract. Now you have to prepare and go to battle. Because this is why do you think when they say you have cancer, oh, you know, that's a cancer survivor, or the fight against cancer, she's battling cancer. You know what I'm saying? You hear things like that because you're fighting something, but are you using the right team and the right tools? Some people could go into the medical industry to fight this shit, and you go in there, that's not a good team, you know? They might get you fucked up. But if you find the right team, they'll guide you in the right area, and now you can overcome this. So if I'm gonna go into a fight and I got a good coach, and let's say this guy is a striker, I'm depending on my team and my coach to train me adequately and appropriately, so that this way I can overcome this opponent who's a master striker, or maybe a master submission artist, or he may be a wrestler, you know, whatever it may be. You train in a certain way to get you prepped for that fighter, right? And then you beat that fighter, okay? But you got to be mentally sharp as well. The reason I say this is this. I mean, mentally, you have to be strong in all aspects, because let's put it like this. Let's say, for example, you have information that you're consuming, All right. And this is the thing. This is why I say paradigms can shift. And the reasons paradigms shift is with your mind and what you're actually consuming. Now, there was a point I was making a shitload of money. Okay. I'm very comfortable right now, but I was making way more money before. You know what I'm saying? I was living a very comfortable, I could get whatever the fuck I want. But then again, this little journey that we wouldn't want to call the idea of spirituality, right? I started consuming information. And the reason why is because it resonated with me, right? But I was kind of tired of the lies. I've started to realize that there was certain things, so something was waking up within me, right? But it's no different than a baby opening their eyes, right? The baby is just gonna absorb whatever it is that it's feeding, because it's not mature enough to be aware of what it's consuming. So you have to have responsible parents, right? Your awareness is very important here, because this is why I mentioned the, leaving your mind open to what? You know what I'm saying? I mentioned that at the end of one of my videos. And the reason I mentioned that is this. If I am now getting into, let's say, spirituality, and I'm listening to all this information, but I'm listening to conspiracy theories along the way. See, this is what happened to me. I started to listen to certain things that got me to have a certain mentality about money, about the government, about life and things. The lifestyle I was living, I didn't leave it. It left me. But because of my mindset, all those things just kind of fell out of my life, because my perception about my reality changed. And I was not really passionate about what I was doing or resonating with it, that it was no longer a frequency match to me, and it just fell off. However, now in this new wave that I got into, right, it felt like I never really changed myself. It's kind of like if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're tired of that person because of their fucked up ways of being. Let's say they did shit in the relationship that you're fed up and tired with, and you leave, and you haven't worked or changed on yourself to some extent. Instead, you keep blaming that individual. You'll just attract another person into your life in another body. It's the same person in another body. That's all you're going to attract, because it's all coming down to you, So let's say, for example, I'm getting into this field of spirituality now. I was in a religious mindset before, and I get into spirituality with the same religious mindset, but now demonizing the system. This is how I'm going to be perceiving my life. My life is going to be a little bit harder, and that's why people say my life is harder after, let's say they think that they have to go through these struggles of when they're going through, spiritual awakening, and it's not like that. It's just an imbalance of you're going through symptoms of a disease there that we would, and the only reason I even say disease is because that's just for the sake of conversation, a bad idea. Let's say if you contracted an idea of a disease, you could just scrap that. This is where a paradigm shift happens. You're aware that you're broke, but you're aware why you're broke. Then you change the program and you have a paradigm shift. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people try to go through methods and strategies and whatnot, but they're not really changing the paradigm. And this is all from Bob Proctor's work. You can go look this stuff up. And it's very valuable because it ties into a lot of the stuff that we just go through every day. It's not even just, going into getting money or anything like that. It just goes into many levels of how your mind works as far as how you're consuming information. So if I'm going into spirituality, don't forget that whatever I was living life in before, and I'm going into spirituality and consuming this new level of information, I'm going into it as a baby. It's just like somebody going through traumas and tribulations and trials and tribulations in their life, and then they say, I'm a born again Christian. You're like a child. Your mind is open. But if you're not aware of what you're consuming, this is programming you and changing your life. And it could be in a very unfavorable way if you're not aware of what's going on. So this is why it's important for you to think, like be aware. The no mind, when I'm not associating with things the way I used to, I'm observing things because I'm aware of what it is that's in my environment. You get what I'm saying? So let's say, for example, I'm consuming all this information. A lot of people going through awakenings, they're researching things. A lot of this stuff mixed in with conspiracy theories. I mean, it can really fuck you up because it's whatever you're consuming. This is the new matrix you're formulating within yourself. This is how people say I'm in a simulation within a simulation within a simulation. And in order for you to change negative programs, you would have to break these programs, and these are nothing but simulations. You know what I'm saying? Like matrices that you're in, a matrix within a matrix. That's why you start to hear things like this with what the hell's his name? Man, what the hell's his name? I don't know. The guy from like space, the black guy, the brown guy. See, it don't even matter. He doesn't even deserve to be shot on camera, actually. But yeah, this is why you have to think. Like, you think, because whenever you're listening to something, you know what you should be putting into your subconscious, because your subconscious is wide open. Know what you're absorbing into the subconscious, and then whatever you know is not going to favor you, you could discard it. You know, or you're aware of the certain things that you've consumed, and you see how they sit with you. This is the digestion process. This is how you process things. So if I'm eating something and I know it didn't sit well with me, then I'm gonna know I either combined it with something else, like food combination is very important, or I was not really ready to consume that kind of food because I've never eaten it before. So let's say, for example, you listen to certain things, it might mess you up because it didn't sit well with you because you weren't ready for that kind of information, or you've combined it, like useful information with conspiracy theories, and these things actually ended up becoming unfavorable situations for you in your life. You know, this is why I say, in the field that I'm in, all right, if you contracted this bad idea, then we're going to use herbs, we're going to use foods of resonance, basically hydrating foods, but you don't have to do none of this. You know, you don't have to do any of this stuff. The reason I say hydration is very important for the simple fact, look, the car that was invented to run on water has already been invented, right? If you look at the works, and I'm gonna link all these stuff that I'm talking to in the description, but if you look at the works of Stan Myers, the guy who invented the car to run on water, he speaks on the technology of how he built the car. All right, and it's basically running on hydrogen. If you really look at this, he's gonna explain how water is actually a much more powerful fuel source than gasoline. Way more powerful. Now, you don't drink gasoline as a human vessel, right? You drink water, right? And you also eat water foods. Now, the reason this is very important is because if you look at the word memory, mem-ori, water and light, right? And this is shout out to Zen Atman, who I appreciate this information for, because this is always going to stay with me. First time I heard it, I was like, wow, this is crazy. But you can even look this stuff up. I looked it up after I heard it. Mem-ori, water and light. Okay? And when you have water and light, you think about it. When you're dehydrated, how conducive do you think you are? When you have memories, right? Like a dream and whatnot, and you try to remember your dream, the memory never left you. The memory is still in you. You just don't have access to it. Okay? You don't have access to it. This is why there's certain things, I don't know if you've ever felt this, but you could be going about your day and you remember, you're trying to remember your dream, but you can't remember it, but you do something during your day and it triggers the instant flash of the dream, which means that it's there, but you're not fully accessing it. For what reason? Again, are you putting enough charge in your system to be able to amplify that memory? The same way we could talk about past life, we could talk about many things. You can have a slight trigger or a memory by the things you do or the things you're into. Okay? Because this is why they say you're doing now what you've always been doing. Right? But are you aware of what you're doing? Is it a repeating pattern? Is it favorable for you? Right? Are you ready to evolve into something different? Into something, because the thing is the letting go process. That's why I say, like, you could be here today full of energy and your body just decides to that's it, it's done. You got to detach, right? Detach from your body and move on, right? If my car that I put so much love and energy into decides to just give up, you have to know if you want to put more energy into, is it costing you more money to keep replacing parts on this vehicle, or is it better to just discard it, let it go, and just get another vehicle? Because sometimes we end up putting more money into the vehicle and it's not worth it because it's just a money drainer. Like sometimes your body, you know, how are you managing yourself? You know, sometimes it's better to just get to the root source of the problem. Like, for example, if I would have fixed this car little by little, parts by parts, it would have cost me more money than just me taking the whole entire engine apart, getting it rebuilt, putting a brand new engine in it, getting a whole brand new fuel and cooling system, getting a new exhaust system, right? New tires, new brakes, because that's the brakes are already done. I'm getting tires and suspension next, and that's it. I can enjoy the vehicle, and I know I'm not gonna have anything break because I've replaced everything in one shot. So whenever you have issues and symptoms, people address these symptoms by just keep like fixing, like trying to address symptoms with medicine instead of just addressing it from the root cause and just, you know, get the machine moving again like a brand new engine. And then after that, you can enjoy your vehicle, put the proper fuel in it if you want to, you know. But I feel like this whole thing about diet and everything, listen, man, I'm here to enjoy life. When you look at, you redefine the meaning of things in your life. I'm not vegan, I eat meat, but I don't eat meat the way people eat meat. I eat meat very, very rarely. Maybe, I'm telling you, very rarely. And if I'm gonna eat meat, I'm gonna have a purpose and redefine the meaning of why I'm even eating meat. There's certain things that people look at as unfavorable, like beans, because they say that the lack of digestibility in beans. But when you look at beans, that's why they call them red kidney beans, white kidney beans, right? See, beans, when you sprout them, they become more digestible for you, right? But aside from that, the fact that they look like kidney beans, you can make this work for your kidneys. Shout out to fucking the hell's his name? Bobby Hemmett. Heal yourself with peach soda. You know, you redefine the meaning of everything in your life. This is why I'm into hypnosis. This is why I'm a hypnotist now. Because as a hypnotist, it's basically, the mind is all, the universe is mental. And if you're able to operate properly from the mind, everything just falls into place. Again, if I want to travel and I want to network, I'm doing it within my map here first. Where are the maps? Where am I traveling? They say think from your heart, be in your, you know, have an intuitive, have a gut feeling, or, you know, you want to use the level of intellect, awareness, whatever it may be, you know. But I'm doing it in a way where I'm balancing all these centers because they all operate as one. I'm not isolating it like doctors and scientists do here, isolating chemistry. It's basically using the entire ecosystem, but I'm traveling. And where am I traveling? These cells, they're called cells for a reason. You have cellular communication. The aura you emit, this beta and alpha male shit is just ideas. How much energy are you housing and how much energy do you emit? I go into a room, they feel my presence. You know, women will start fixing themselves if you walk into a room and whatnot. You know, you're more impactful. But again, this has to do with energy. How are you manipulating and using your energy? That's why they say when you jack off too much, yeah, that's your essence that comes out. But again, it's how much of the energy are you housing and how much of it are you using here to your benefit, living this human experience. Can you redefine the meaning of these things in your life to work for you? Again, this shit could be working against you or it could be working for you. Food could be working for you or against you. So protein's a stimulant, right? So what happens? If it's a stimulant, why? There's protein in beans. But am I using one kind of protein over another to benefit me more? Yeah. I'm actually going to take the protein from the beans to stimulate me in a way that I'm not going to get from eating animal meat. You hear what I'm saying? I may want to cover more things, but this video is going to cut short. But if I do, I'll just tie it in another video. But again, I don't promote diets. I don't do none of that. I am basically like Trevor Whitman at the UFC, the world's greatest coach. All right. And I have a team behind me. And if we can address the one that you got into a contract with, because, you know, it happens, we can actually address it and eliminate that opponent effectively. We'll talk soon.